Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gaudamadubhishtam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupa Manjari Prishtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayan Vancha Kalupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Smirahasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Brishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Brindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances, the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatam Shri Guru Pada Padam, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya, Ashtotra Sata Srimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Guru Deva, and to my worship of Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya, Ashtotra Sata Srimad Shila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupa and Gauriya Guru Varga, all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So continue with Sri Ramananda Samvada. Today the chapter of Prema Tattva. This verse quoted here from Sri Govinda Lilamrita 11:112. It says, who is the source of love for Shri Krishna? The answer is Sri Radha only. Who is Shri Krishna's most beloved? The answer is Sri Radha, the repository of all transcendental qualities, and no one else. Her hair is very curly, her eyes are always darting back and forth, and her breasts are firm. Thus, Sri Radha alone is able to fulfill all of Krishna's desires, no one else. So here we have some very beautiful description about Radharani's body, how she looks like, especially that she has curly hair, just like Krishna also. Sometimes we see deity's hair very straight, but it's not like so. It has many, this curly locks. Next verse is the Ramananda Samvada Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's verse, translation. He's saying, Jara bhagya guna vanche satya bhama jara tani kalla vilasa sikke brajarama jara somdharyadi guna vache Lakshmi Parvati jara pativrata dharma vanche arundati jara sadguna ganane Krishna na pai par tara guna gani bekya mone jivachar. Satyabhama is Sri Krishna's other queens, eternally long for the good fortune and excellence qualities of Srimati Radhika, from whom all the gopis have learned the various arts. Even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, and Lord Shiva's wife, Parvati, yearn for her standard of beauty. The respected Arundhati also, the celebrated chaste wife of Vashishta, desires to rise to the level of her chastity and religious observance. Even Sri Krishna himself cannot fully enumerate Srimati Radharani's transcendental qualities. How then could an insignificant living entity possibly estimate them? So Srimati Radhika, she is by far superior in all qualities from all the other feminine expansions. From herself, of course, they are all expansions of her. At least when we speak about Satyabhama and Parvati, but there are many other ladies, and Lakshmi as well. But there are many, many other ladies which are not expansions of Radha, they are just jivas, and they also cannot match Srimati Radhika in any quality. So this is the end of the Prema Tattva chapter. The next one is Vilasa Tattva. Prabhu ko he janilum Krishna Radha Prema Tattva Shunit Chahi Dunhara Vilasa Mahatattva Vilasa Mahatva Rai ko he Krishna hoy Dhira Lalit Nirantara Kama Krida Jahara Charit. After hearing these descriptions of Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva and Prema Tattva from Shri Ramananda Rai, Sriman Mahaprabhu replied, "O Rai, I have come to understand the truths about Shri Krishna, Shri Radha and Prema itself. Now I wish to hear the glories of their playful loving exchanges," which means vilas. Vilas means their playful loving exchanges. This is the meaning of vilas. We have learned about who is Krishna, who is Radha, what is the nature of their love, and now must be their interaction, means what they do together, what are their pastimes. So that's what now is coming about. Then Shri Ramananda replied, Lord Krishna is Dhira Lalita Nayak, and he is ever devoted to lusty affairs, Kama Kridha. Lusty here means transcendental love, transcendental lust, aprakrita kam. Expert in relishing loving exchanges, ever youthful, clever at joking, and always carefree. These are the qualities of the Dhira Lalita Nayak, a hero controlled by his beloved. But the hero is symptomized as being completely favorable to the heroine and unable to remain apart from her. He is called Dhira Lalita Anukula Nayak. In his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Srila Rupa Goswami says, Vidagdonava Tarunya Parihasa Visharadha Nischinto Dhira Lalita Sat Praya Prayasi Vasa. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1 230. He who is expert in the art of love, ever youthful, clever at joking, happy-go-lucky, and subjugated by the love of his sweethearts is called Dhira Lalita Nayak. So the main quality of being a Dhira Lalita Nayaka means what? Being subjugated to the love of his beloved, especially Srimati Radhika, who has another very important quality, which is Swadhinna Bhartrika, means the capacity of bringing over her control or under her control his beloved, her beloved, which means the hero, the Nayaka, Krishna. And Krishna also must have a matching quality, which is to be subjugated. So Swadhina Bhatrika quality of Srimati Radhika has this relation with one aspect of Krishna, which is Dhira Lalita Nayak. Shri Purnamasi said to Nandimukhi, "O Nandimukhi, because of their indescribable, compelling love for Shri Krishna. Shri Nanda and Jashoda never burdened their son with any specific responsibility. Thus, being fully carefree, Shri Krishna continuously plays with Sri Radha on the banks of the Yamuna River, decorating the kunjas there with his very presence. Krishna is a prince. He does not have any responsibility, anything. He's young, he's healthy, he's beautiful, he's rich, and he's free. Therefore, his only job is to enjoy. Enjoy life, enjoy his youth, enjoy the pastimes with Srimati Radhika, his friends, play, joke, completely like, free of any tension. Ratri dina kunje krida kore radha sange kaishora vayasa safala koilo kridarange. Day and night, Shri Krishna continuously sports, jokes, and enjoys in various ways with Sri Radha in the kunjas. In this way, through his amorous diversions, he makes his youth successful. The meaning of amorous play, Kridaranga, in the present context is Prema Lila, pastimes of love, which are ongoing, meaning whenever the opportunity arises. If the meaning were taken as every moment, then the sequence in the flow of the Leelas would be disrupted, giving no chance for Krishna to perform his cow grazing and other pastimes. These other Leelas are essential limbs of the principal pastimes of meeting with the Braja Gopis. And all of the Leelas have their own appropriate timings. It means Krishna is not continuously meeting with Radha and Gopis. He's not. There are some, separation. Krishna must do other Leelas as well. Other Leelas are very, very important. Otherwise, Krishna could not be complete. And he could not give pleasure to all his other types of devotees as well. One of the qualities of Krishna is that he himself is always busy trying to give pleasure to his devotees. He is embodiment of Paramananda, the supreme bliss. And he's not seeking for his own happiness, actually. He's always seeking for the happiness of his devotees. It looks like he's trying to enjoy himself, looks like, but actually not. What he's doing is seva. He's also doing seva. He also wants to please his devotees. This is explained very beautifully in the Bhakti Rasayan by Srila Gurudev. So he's not selfish at all. So we should not mistake being an enjoyer to being selfish. A selfish person will only look to himself, will only look to his own enjoyment. But Krishna is not selfish. So if he is enjoying, it means he's enjoying to give pleasure to his devotees. He's enjoying to put his devotees in first place. He's never selfish. The next verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 231. It says, Shri Krishna impudently boasted of his amorous escapades of the previous night in front of the Sakis, making Sri Radha close her eyes out of embarrassment. At that moment, he painted some charming, playful Makari, means Cupid's dolphin carrier, upon her breasts, and thus manifested the pinnacle of cleverness. By such loving pastimes in the Kunjas, Sri Hari made his youth successful. Means he was telling to the Sakis about what he did previous night, how he escaped to meet, such and such gopi, and he did this and that, and they become embarrassed by hearing that. Prabhu kohe ho hoy age kohoar, rai kahi havai buddhi gati nahiar. Jiva prema vilasa vivarta eka hoy, taha shuni tomara sukha hoy ki na hoy. Etta bolia panakrita gita eka gahila, preme prabhu sahaste tara mukha achadila. Sriman Mahaprabhu said, whatever you have said regarding the loving exchanges between Sri Radha and Krishna is all right, but please say something more. Age kahwar. Sri Ramananda replied, O Lord, my intelligence cannot penetrate the subject any further, but there is another stage called Prema Vilasa Vivarta. However, I do not know if such a description will be to your satisfaction or not. Saying this, Sri Ramananda began to sing his own composition, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately covered Ramananda's mouth with his lotus hand. Vivarta means the whirlpool. Means when this Prema Vilasa become completely mad, out of control, out of means any type of mundane comparison, then Ramananda, you say, oh, this is very, very high subject. As he was going to speak, Mahaprabhu covered his mouth. According to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the present verse, it is Sriman Mahaprabhu's intention here to confirm that in Sri Ramananda Rai's deliberation on the goal of human life, he has described the prema between Sri Radha and Sri Krishna and illuminated the greatness of their pastimes when Sri Krishna manifests his Dhira Lalita Nayaka form. This deliberation describes the glories of the amorous pastimes between Sri Radha and Sri Krishna. Radha, who is the source or sum total of all rasa, Akhanda Rasa Vallabha, the embodiment of Mahabhava, and the personification of Kanta Prema, and Krishna, who is the unlimited ocean of all rasas, Akila Rasamrita Sindhu, the personification of Sringar Rasa, amorous love, the king of all mellows, Rasaraja. King of all mellows means Rasaraja, and the direct attractor of even Cupid himself. Yet, Sriman Mahaprabhu asked, can you explain more than this? Sri Ramananda Rai replied, since such topics are beyond material intelligence, it is extremely rare to find anyone qualified enough to hear or speak on them. However, there is one topic, namely Prema Vilasa Vivarta, that I shall describe. But I do not know whether this will make you happy or not. This is my doubt. Prema Vilasa is of two types. One is meeting, Sambhoga, and the other is separation, Vipralamba. Without separation, there is no joy or sustenance in meeting. In the stage of Adhiruddha Mahabhava, this condition of bewilderment or illusion, Vivarta, causes feelings of separation even within meeting. Meeting for the duration of the day of Brahma seems to last only for a moment. Even though Shri Krishna is happy, one iota of difficulty for him still causes great unhappiness for the devotee. Although the devotee is beyond illusion, when he is in separation from Krishna, he automatically forgets everything and considers even a moment to be like millions upon millions of years. So what is saying here? He's saying that when that prema reaches the stage of Adhiruddha Mahabhava, it causes bewilderment or vivarta. And then it causes what? Feelings of separation during the meeting. So in this way, that meeting can have the duration of Brahma's day as a feeling. And a moment can feel like, like yugas, millions of years. The words prema vilas mean the loving, playful pastimes that are generated from prema. And vivarta means mistaking one thing for something else. It also means opposite, bewildered, and completely ripened. During Prema Vilasa Vivarta, there is a cause for some pastimes to flow in a seemingly contradictory manner. This stage is most astonishing and the ultimate expression of loving exchanges. Thus, we find the statement. So here, the meaning of Vivarta has been given as an illusion, like Vivartavada, like the conception of mistaking something by another thing. For example, the Mayavadi philosophy is called Vivartavada. It means when you mistake in the dark night a rope to be a snake. This is a type of illusion. So this is called Vivarta. But in the beginning, I say this Vivarta means that whirlpool, because I was remembering that book, Prem Vivarta, of Jagadananda Pandit. So that is that meaning. But also this is here given different meaning in this context. So this verse from Ujjwala Nilmani, 14:178. The waves of the great ocean of Shri Radha's compelling love now completely cover Shri Krishna with their waters, because she actually identifies as him. Thus she defeats all other good goddesses, including Parvati, who, being not different from Lord Shiva, is his wife. Lakshmi, who, because of intimate friendship with Shri Narayana, reclines on his chest. Satyabhama, who, because of her great good fortune, is like a lotus flower that attracts the bumblebee of Shri Krishna's mind. And also Chandravali, who, because of her sweetness, is the life and soul of Maduresh, means a lord of sweetness. Prema Vilasa means loving pastimes, and Vivarta indicates Prema Vaichitya, which is the topmost level of Prema. In this stage of the performance of loving exchanges, the knowledge of the difference between the lover and his beloved is annihilated. It means it comes a time when Radha and Krishna, they cannot more discriminate who is who. Krishna is thinking, I am Radha, and Radha is thinking, I am Krishna. So this is the type of stage of love which is being described here. Like Krishna, he can be looking to Radha's eyes, and Radha also is looking at Krishna's eyes. In Radha's eyes, Krishna sees his own reflection, and then he thinks, I am Radha looking at Krishna. And in the same way, Srimati Radhika is seeing her own reflection in Krishna's eyes, and she thinks, I am Krishna looking to Radha. At that moment, they don't know more about who they are. They become one, they become each other, they become everything. So therefore he's saying this Prem Vilasa means this Prem Vaichitya. Topmost level of Prem. Everything else apart from the joy of meeting, including their own existence, is forgotten. They forgot about themselves. They're just so absorbed in their love that nothing else exists, only the love itself now for them, in their consciousness. Their heart and mind melt to such a degree that both of them become one. And they do not recognize any difference between each other. In this profusion of prema, absorption in oneness reaches its highest stage. The knowledge, I am the heroine, beloved, and you are the hero, lover, becomes covered due to a delusion that arises in the course of amorous exchanges. In this stage, sometimes Shri Radha mistakenly considers herself to be the hero, Ramana, and Shri Krishna thinks himself to be the heroine, or Ramani. This is Viparita Bhava, in which roles are reversed. It is so beautiful. So this vivartam, this illusion means what? To think you are someone else, not yourself. That is what we're talking about, this illusion. That Radhika will think she's Krishna, and Krishna will think she is Radha. And they will reverse the roles. Now Radha is the enjoyer, Radha is the hero, and Krishna is the enjoyed, the heroine. When Madhumangala says, "Oh Radha, Madhusudana has gone away," Shri Radha begins to lament in separation from him, from Krishna, even though Shri Krishna is right next to her. This is Prema Vilasa Vivarta. The following song was composed by Sri Rai Ramananda. So this is that pastime which happened in Prem Sarovar, which is being mentioned here. This pastime is when the bumblebee come and try to drink some nectar of Radharani's face, because it resembles like a lotus. And he begins to fly around Radha's face, Radha's feet, and she becomes disturbed. And she's right there, sitting beside Krishna, embracing Krishna. Then she becomes, upset, and she tries to chase that bumblebee. But then Madhumangala comes with a stick, and he runs and he chases that bumblebee far away. When he comes back shouting, saying, Madhusudana has gone, and he'll never return. So when Radha heard that sentence, Madhusudana is gone and he will never return, she thought that Krishna, Madhusudan, is gone and he will never return. At that moment, she was thrown into a state of deep separation. But she was there with him, sitting in Krishna's lap only. So this is called Prem Vaichitya. This is also another example of Prem Vaichitya, or Prema Vilasa Vivarta. So next one. Lamenting separation, Srimati Radhika says, Alas, before we ever met, we first experienced an initial attachment to each other, instigated by an exchange of glances. In just a blink of the eyelid, without a moment's delay, an emotion named raga, driving attachment, immediately arose between us. This compelling love grew day by day, and in no time at all, in just a few days, it developed so much that there was no limit to it. That attachment flowed without stop and continued to increase. Radha prema vibhu jara bharite nahitani tatapi se kane kane barai sadai. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4:128. Shri Radha's love extends everywhere, leaving no space for it to expand any further. Still, it continuously increases every second. We often hear that Krishna, he is complete, although he is always expanding and showing his qualities better and better. Same way, Srimati Radhika's love also is already complete, but it's still expanding at every second. And Krishna also says, Man maluri Radha prema donhe hora kori kone kone bare donhe keho nahi hari. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4:142. My sweetness in Radha's prema increases every moment and neither knows defeat. If you check out this chapter in Adi Lila 4th chapter of Adi Lila, you see there are many shlokas, very beautiful descriptions about Radha and Krishna's love interaction. Krishna himself praising Srimati Radhika is, I think, one of the most beautiful compilations of shlokas in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There, Kaviraj Goswami, he's quoting many verses from different shastras. And Krishna himself praising Srimati Radhika, describing Radharani's glories, and describing how is the interaction between them. Like this one, he's saying that there is another one. I'm not sure if they're going to quote here. So let me see. I don't think so, if they're not quoting. So another one, it says that Radhika is so beautiful. And when Krishna sees that very beautiful face of Srimati Radhika, he became so happy that his own beauty also increases. And by seeing Krishna's beauty increasing, Radha's, she became very happy. And then her own beauty also increases. And by that, Krishna, by looking at that, he becomes more blissful and he becomes more beautiful. And that becomes like a type of fight, type of, war between a battle, like between Radha and Krishna's beauty. But none can find any type of Haribo, you're back. So I was telling that this description in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which says that when Krishna sees Radha, very beautiful, he becomes so happy. And by that, his own beauty increases. And by seeing Krishna's beauty increasing, Radhika, she becomes more happy and her own beauty also increases again. So in this way, there is like a battle in between Radha's beauty and Krishna's beauty. And no one can never find defeat. They will actually just increase each other so much. So if you take a look in those verses, it's very much delightful. So continue here. That raga or attraction arises naturally in both of us. It is Sri Radha's desire to give happiness to Sri Krishna continuously, and Sri Krishna desires to do the same for Sri Radha. Neither Krishna, the lover par excellence, nor Sri Radha, the preeminent beloved, is the cause of this spontaneous attraction, but it awakens just from seeing each other and turns into Cupid, who grinding or melting their minds together makes them one. Their hearts and minds, desiring only to give happiness to one another, become non-different from each other. At that time, they become obsessed with desire to engage in loving pastimes, and they forget all else except meeting together. In essence, at that time, Sri Krishna forgets that he is a hero or lover, and Sri Radha also loses the feeling that she is the heroine or beloved. Se Saba Prema Kahini. These are all topics of Prema. O Sakhi, if you think that due to our separation from each other, Sri Krishna has forgotten all of our previous loving affairs, please tell him that the influence of Mathura is such that it causes everyone who goes there to forget their previous existence. If you go, then kindly remind him that at the time of our first meeting, there was no messenger between us, nor did I request anyone to arrange our meeting. Indeed, only our great mutual eagerness to meet one another, or Cupid's 5 arrows, were our via media and the one and only cause. Now Radhika is speaking when Krishna was in Mathura. And she thinks that Mathura's land makes everyone forget about their past, previous loving affairs. And she's remembering how was their first meeting. This demonstrates Sri Radha's feminine virtue of dedication, means lalana nishtha. There's a footnote for that. Lalana nishtha swarupa is a self-manifest rati that is expressed as an involuntary impulse toward Sri Krishna, even when one has not seen him or heard about his beauty and qualities. the natural attraction towards Shri Krishna. Natural. You never heard about him, you have never seen him, never heard about his qualities, but just by knowing that he exists, automatically you feel attraction for him. Where is that? I missed it. Okay. So, to meet Shri Krishna, known as Manjista Raga. Also Manjista and Raga, there is footnote. Manjista is a plant, Indian madder, which produces a very bright and long-lasting red dye. Manjista Raga is the Raga that is self-manifest. That is, it is not dependent on others. It is never destroyed. It is always steadfast, and it is never dulled. Such raga is found in Srimati Radhika and Shri Krishna. Furthermore, one can see that this special attraction, raga, in her heart is completely pure, free from material designations, and independent of everything else. No helper, messenger, or other intermediary was required to facilitate Sri Radha Krishna's meeting. Their love is such that they don't need anything, any other type of arrangement. They naturally flow towards each other, just like the river flows naturally towards the ocean. There's not to need anyone to, direct the river towards the ocean, or explain, or say, now you are coming to ocean, so go that address. I wanted to book a time for you. No, there's nothing like that. So in the same way, Radhika and Krishna, they are flowing towards each other. Oh Saki, now Krishna has lost his intense attraction for me due to the powerful influence of this anurag. He came to me on his own, without the intervention of anyone else. But now he has forgotten all this. At this time of separation, the attachment, raga, of meeting has transformed into an exceptional attachment, viraga, or vichedagata raga, a very special, unbroken, and unlimited attraction felt in separation, otherwise named Adhiruddha Bhava, highly elevated ecstatic love. Here, this viraga, or Adhiruddha Bhava, is addressed as a female friend, Saki, and asked to become a messenger to Krishna. To whom Beli Dhuti, O Saki, you should act as my envoy. I am sending you to him with a message. Supurukka prema ki aicha nariti. You should go and ask him. Is it the conduct of an expert lover, a cultured gentleman, to first establish prema and then sometime later forget it? Here Shri Radha is speaking in jest. The purport is, it is completely improper for a skilled suitor like you to display such a profusion of intense love and later on just drop it. All of this essentially means that at the time of meeting, raga or attraction remains as an emissary in the form of Cupid. Then during separation, that raga wakens up the stage of Adhiruddha Bhava and ultimately becomes Prema Vilasa Vivarta. Moreover, while experiencing feelings of separation, if one has a vision within the heart or a spurti of meeting, then that vision takes the form of a female messenger. Shri Radha addresses this messenger as Saki, dear friend, and then speaks with her. The happiness that one experiences in this state of meeting in Prema Vilas is in truth also experienced in separation. Similarly, because one becomes so absorbed in Shri Krishna's when parted from him, the mood of service reaches to the topmost peak. This variety of vivarta gives rise to Adhiruddha Mahabhava. This is a type of meeting in which, for example, Shri Radha mistakes a blackish tamal tree for Shri Krishna and runs to embrace it. So this is called Adhiruddha Mahabhava. Is when Radhika sees any black thing, she thinks that is Krishna. And she will run and embrace that. That is the effect of the separation, love in separation, to such a degree of intensity that that constant absorption, that constant, thinking about, makes that person appear in front of you or appear inside of you. She's so much thinking about Krishna, she's so much absorbed in Krishna, that she begins to see Krishna everywhere. And she begins to meet with him all the time. And that is what Krishna said in Prem Sarovar, that pastime we just spoke about, the bumblebee. Krishna thought to himself, look, I am here with her, and still she's thinking I'm not, and she's feeling separation. So if I will go, like really go away, then that will cause her what? To meet internally with me. So that meeting will be better for her, because that will be constant meeting. But if I come close to her in presence, then she may think I'm not there. What type of situation is that? So himself, he becomes puzzled. He cannot understand what is going on in Srimati Radhika's heart, in mind. So that is one of the reasons why he left Vrindavan, because he wanted to see that practically. What's going to happen if I tell the gopis I'm not going, or I'm not coming back for a long time? If I will not come back for a long time, what will happen? To which stage that separation can go? That is Krishna's, experiment. Krishna is like in his Prem lab. Prem lab? Lab means laboratory. Laboratory of Prem. Krishna is mixing many different things. He's trying so different formulas and seeing how he can combine many different things and see what the result will be of this love. He's doing like that. So in this way, this is the very feeling of Srimati Radhika. Okay, so we are going to stop here then. And there is a long way still in this chapter. You can just mark there, page 176, and we will continue next time. Okay? So, Hare Krishna.